Christian. What do Channing Tatum and Biggie have in common? Washboard abs? Classic good looks? Movie star? Riches?
Starlets on the arm.
Yeah. Is he single? Single?
No, apparently he's now engaged to Zoe Kravitz.
Oh, yeah.
I think I read.
Really?
Zoe Kravitz.
Yeah, she's Catwoman in the most recent Batman.
Okay.
Lenny Kravitz's daughter.
I never know who's dating whom.
Yeah, I understand.
If it's
it's hard to keep up with.
If it's not J-Lo and Ben Affleck, I don't know these things. I just learned today.
But I think she directed the new movie that he's in.
Yes. Who's
Kravitz?
Yeah. Okay. All right. I learned some other celebrity couple today. I had no idea. Oh, Cheryl Hines from Larry David's show, Curb Your Enthusiasm, is married to Robert Kennedy Jr., which I think I knew but forgot. Mm-hmm. You know, so
that's been a thing.
They've been married for a long time, apparently. Well, Channing Tatum, what does he have in common with Biggie? He always wears the same color T-shirt. For years and years, he has worn a plain white T-shirt. Either that or a tank top, one or the other. And
is this when he's not on set?
And for a year, he wore a T-shirt, a white T-shirt, for like 2 or 3 days in a row, threw it away, bought another one, put it on, wore it 2 or 3 days in a row, threw it away.
Doesn't do laundry.
Doesn't like to do laundry, which he has in common with me. I had to learn to do laundry.
At an advanced age.
Yes, in my 40s, because I was working out and my wife refused to do my sweat-soaked laundry. And for the first time in my life, I was tasked with doing it. And I still, to this day, I was really proud to learn that. At age 47, I learned that. This is Tatum talking about his wardrobe.
I had 1 year that I called the year of the fresh white tee. And I don't think I did laundry all year that year. And I just wore white t-shirts that I just bought. Like I'd be like, I can get like 2 wears out of this week. This is going to be good. The year of the fresh white tee, 99 or 2000.
But even
what's your t-shirt budget?
That's pretty high there, isn't it?
That is, yeah.
I mean, even if you're just getting basics like Hanes.
It's pretty pricey.
And I bet he's not just buying Hanes. He's stepping it up.
Well, he's got disposable income.
Yeah.
Did he have it in 99?
When did he become a big star?
He was kind of breaking then, I think.
When's Magic Mike? That's when he became a big star, isn't it?
He had a dance movie before that. He was kind of known as doing dance
movies. What about the Johnny Depp TV show that became... Johnny Depp had that TV show many years ago.
21 Jump.
21 Jump Street. That's it. 15 years ago, probably.
At least.
Yeah, it's been a while. So I don't know what you're spending there, but that's pretty pricey. And I hope he took those to Goodwill and didn't just throw them out. This
smells very podcasty.
It's all awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
It may have been.
It's one of those stories that you embellish for a podcast.
It may not be true. There is the best example probably ever of someone embellishing something for a podcast. Chris Demm is on this more than anybody else. Like, people say stuff on podcasts, and he'll say, that's not accurate. They're making that up, or they're embellishing it.
What often happens is nobody listens to these things, but I guess somebody out there is listening. Mm-hmm. Someone will hear Channing Tatum say something about you throwing away 500 shirts in a year.
Yeah, that's right.
That's wasteful. And then I'll have to come back and say, well, it turns out I donated them. I gave the cloth to Cambodian refugees.
That's right. Now, it's not on the grid yet, but later on the grid, an actress has done just that. She said something on a podcast for laughs, and people are really upset about it. All right. So it's not there yet, but
so you can't even discuss.
I can't even discuss it.
Well, this show's gone to hell. Rapidly.
I know.
There's another actor in trouble for doing something similar on a podcast. Well, I'd say trouble, but getting backlash.
What's that?
Saying something on a podcast that may or may not be true.
What's that?
His name is Tyrese. I'm sure you all know who he is.
I'm unfamiliar with Tyrese.
He's been in several movies. He's also been a singer.
Have I seen any movies he's in?
Well, you may have glanced at one of the he's in all the Fast and Furious.
I've not seen
I'm out.
He's been in a few other movies.
I don't know.
But he said recently on a podcast that his first acting gig was when he would go with his mother to get like the government assistance checks. Mm-hmm. And she told him to like act special needs.
Tyrese.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Really?
So he's getting some blowback on that.
Ooh, I bet he is.
From a number of communities.
Yeah.
Oh.
This is what happens. I don't know what it is about podcasts that make people do this stuff.
I think it's the lack of audience.
Mm-hmm.
And it just feels like, you're just kind of one-on-one and
no one will ever hear it.
No one, and you feel like you need to ham it up a little too. But I really think the lack of audience plays a role.
I do too. I heard a guy say this is probably the worst thing I've ever heard like that. An actor, I'll never remember his name. He was in like Thank You for Smoking. He's a very good actor, but I don't know the name very well. He was on with Howard Stern once, and I watched this interview on YouTube. And he said he was playing the father of a child who had died, or I believe committed suicide. And to get ready for the role, he went to meetings of parents who had that happen to them and pretended.
Like a support group.
And pretended to be one of those people. And I just thought, how could you do that? How can you pretend for the role? And he said, I really regret that because people were sharing so much pain that they had gone through. And he wanted to get right for the role. And he's like, I felt like I played it better because of that, but I had to go and pretend. And people were afterwards, saying how when I shared my story, how great it was. And I thought, golly, that's tough.
It's one thing to go and just sit.
But
to make up stories?
Yeah, that's what he was saying that he did. I'm pretty sure he said that. And then now we know somebody who heard that Elton John was going to be at an AA meeting in Atlanta. And they went to go and try to meet Elton John.
Even though they're not alcoholic.
Oh, yeah, they're not alcoholic. They went, and I believe they went to like 3 or 4, and one of them finally, Elton John was there. Mm-hmm. But you don't even get to meet him because it's anonymous, and later you're like having coffee going like, Philadelphia.
You look familiar. Yeah. I get that a lot.
What a reprehensible thing to do,
I saw recently on the internet somebody say, like, what is the most surprising thing you've learned about rock stars? And one is that somebody said that Elton John lives in Atlanta.
Yeah.
They said they were like,
even there for years.
For years.
Decades.
And that's what they said. But they were like, for some reason, I always pictured him living in a castle
of course,
in England.
Of course.
You find out he's just down in Atlanta.
Why? But he is there. Yeah, that's right.
I believe he does own property in the south of France.
I'm sure he
does have a house.
But they're right.
I'm sure he does.
But when you say Elton John, you picture him on the English countryside in a castle.
Right. Yes.
Not down in Atlanta going to Hawks games.
That's really wrong.
Is he in Buckhead?
Yeah. He's in the Buckhead area. But isn't that wrong to pretend you're an alcoholic?
Oh, yeah.
To go to an AA meeting in the hopes that the chance meeting with Elton John. And they did. They stood there and had cookies with Elton John. But you can't say,
no.
Oh, my God, you can't say it.
People may be doing that in Los Angeles. There are tons of recovering addicts in L.A., New York.
You're right. Who are famous.
It's way more remotely of a chance to find someone famous. Well, although Atlanta is growing.
But then if you hear that Elton John's going to be at because there's so few celebrities in Atlanta versus Los Angeles, then you might see an Elton
And then you're
John.
trying to figure out a schedule. So is this your normal meeting place and normal meeting time, or do you move around? Or
I saw Kiefer Sutherland when I was on the Sex and the City tour in New York 18 years ago. It was a pretty big deal. We did this.
What did you pretend to be?
A Samantha.
Yeah.
But I'm not really a Samantha. I'm a Charlotte.
What's he like?
I've heard you're not.
I
can't speak on it.
Some say I'm a Carrie.
Some say you're a Carrie.
Some say I'm a Carrie, but I'm really a Charlotte. But that day I pretended to be a Samantha and got right up next to Kiefer Sutherland. We did the Sex and the City tour. He wasn't on it, but he was in one. Like we stopped at a convenience store or something, like a little bodega, and there he was. Like, oh my God, we're down in Chelsea.
Did you interact?
No, I just stared at him. He's small. He's really tiny. And somebody had to tell me. Somebody else was like, "There's Kiefer Sutherland over there." That was a pretty big deal. He was doing that show we love, 24.
Oh, 24
time. Yeah, he was just starting 24.
That's him right there getting a bagel.
Yeah, pretty. But I didn't say anything. I didn't want to be like that guy, you know. Here's something about
You're on the Sex and the City tour. I like your work. Do you?
Oh God, here comes that bus.
You got frosting on your nose.
We just had a cupcake.
From the place.
Yeah, from the place where you get the cupcakes on the Sex. You get the cupcakes. It's called like, I don't know. It has a famous place where you get, they're lined up around the block and you get them. Here's something about rock stars you may not know. I didn't know this. Chris Tim might have. Bryan Adams wrote the song War Machine for Kiss in 1982. Did you know that? Bryan Adams.
No.
Now he's released his own version of it. So this is Bryan Adams singing Kiss's War Machine.
Strike down the one who leads me. Gonna take his place. Gonna crucify the human race. Better watch out.
That's from Kiss's album Creatures of the Night. Adams said, I wrote it in 1982. I was struggling, trying to get anything I could.
Did he have a contract? He may have had a recorded contract in 82. I mean, he was kind of breaking
by that time. Maybe he wrote it before 82, and the song came out in 82 after Kiss performed it. So he's like, all these years later, I thought that'd be cool to do my own version of it. Guy still sounds great. I'm an Adams guy. I'm a Bryan Adams man. Joel, you're talking about Elton John in Atlanta. Go ahead.
Yeah. Hey, guys. Love the show.
Thank you.
I was just talking with Biggie. I used to work for Whole Foods, and when we opened the Whole Foods down in Buckhead, which is about a mile from the neighborhood that he lives in, they got Elton, or they're going to get Elton, to come play their VIP party at the store the night before they opened. And all the money goes to charity. Well, Elton wanted it to go to AIDS research.
Yeah.
And Whole Foods felt it was too political, so they wouldn't do it. So Elton never came.
Oh, too bad. That's too bad. That would have been really cool. And it's cool that he would have done that, of course. Hey, have you ever seen him? I guess you didn't ever get a chance to see him then in Atlanta.
No.
Too bad. You could have probably met him if you're working down there. Thank you very much for listening, Joel, and thanks for the call. Sounds like he's on his morning walk.
I know.
Yeah.
Dog there,
Getting a little cardio in.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
I was on the phone, but you just played that Bryan Adams.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you why these old artists sound so good, and I'm calling my shot now.
Oh, boy.
AI.
You think?
Because when you go see these guys in concert, they don't sound like that.
Yeah, they do. Who was it yesterday? We had Motley Crue yesterday.
Motley Crue.
Same type thing. Yeah.
I think, because I heard that Bryan Adams, and I thought, no way.
You think
just
AI's,
like Motley Crue.
So you think AI is filling in the gaps to make it sound better, to enhance it?
Yes.
To enhance it.
Because as we know at this point, AI can pretty much
do
duplicate
anything.
Honestly, if you had, I don't know, I'm not sure about AI, but if you told me that, if you didn't tell me who that was, I would have never guessed Bryan Adams.
Really?
Does it sound like Bryan Adams to you?
No, it did not. It sounded more like Kiss from way back in the day,
Strike down the one who leads me. Gonna take his place. Gonna crucify the human race. Better watch out.
Yeah. No, I would never believe that's Bryan Adams.
And we've already had issues with AI, people making AI songs.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Drake had it done to him last year.
Yeah.
Where the song actually charted.
Yeah.
And
it wasn't him.
Remember when I saw that story on CBS Sunday Morning of Randy Travis, who he had a stroke.
Yeah.
And they've got a new song out by him, but it's not him. It's AI and another singer.
Simulating his voice.
But it sounds a lot like him.
So I think you'll have guys like, I'm sorry, like I said yesterday, especially with Vince Neil, that his voice does not sound that good. Now, there's a lot of processing and layers. You could hear it there with Bryan Adams, too.
A lot.
Oh, yeah.
But I think that they're going to start using AI
I'm
to
sure
really
you're right.
make it sound
I'm
better.
sure you're right. I mean, half the time we hear a commercial on radio or TV, and Kristen will go, do you think that's a real person?
Yeah.
I don't know anymore.
Yeah.
You can't tell, It's killing my voiceover work.
That equipment just gathers dust.
Well, I mean, it was kind of dead before.
I never.
I mean, your resume did most of the work.
Yeah.